Welcome back to the channel. It's great to have you here again. Today, we're going to talk about a coin that looks very ordinary but might be worth a lot of money. I'm talking about the 1967 Washington quarter. Most people think these quarters are only worth 25 cents, but some rare ones have sold for thousands of dollars, even as high as $18,000. That's right, just one coin from 1967 could be hiding in your pocket, a jar, or an old drawer, and it could be worth more than a brand new iPhone. So make sure you stick around and listen closely, because I'll explain everything in a simple way that's easy to understand. Let's start with a bit of history. The Washington quarter was first made in 1932 to celebrate the 200th birthday of George Washington, who was the first president of the United States. People liked the design so much that it became the official quarter and is still being made today, although the design has changed a few times. Now, let's jump forward to 1967. That year, the US was facing a coin shortage. Silver prices were rising, and people were saving coins made of silver because they were becoming more valuable than their face value. So the US Mint decided to change how coins were made. Starting in 1965, quarters were no longer made with silver. Instead, they were made from something called a clad composition. This means the coin has a layer of copper in the middle and a layer of nickel on the outside. So if you have a 1967 quarter, it's not made of silver. It's made of copper and nickel, and it doesn't have any mint mark. That's another important thing to know. In 1967, the mint did not use mint marks on quarters. So even if your coin was made in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, it will not show a letter like P, D, or S on it. They did this to stop people from hoarding coins based on where they were made. Now, let's talk about what makes a 1967 quarter valuable. First, most of these coins are worth just 25 cents because more than 1.5 billion of them were made. That's a huge number, so they're very common. But a few of them are worth much more because of their condition, special minting sets, and rare errors. Let's break that down in simple terms. Condition means how nice and clean the coin looks. If it's old, scratched, or dirty, it probably won't be worth much. But if it looks shiny and brand new, and has no damage, it could be worth a few dollars. Now, if a coin is in perfect condition and has been graded by a professional company like PCGS or NGC, it might be worth even more. Some of these coins are found in what's called a special mint set, also known as SMS. These were sets of coins made in 1967 for collectors because the US Mint didn't produce regular proof sets that year. SMS coins have a smoother, shinier finish and were made with more care. If you have one of these SMS coins, especially one that's graded SP67 or SP68, it could be very valuable. In fact, one 1967 SMS quarter graded SP68 sold for over $18,000 at auction. But the real excitement comes from error coins. These are coins that were made with mistakes at the mint. Believe it or not, mistakes can make a coin worth a lot more. There are many kinds of errors that can happen, and I'll explain a few of the most valuable ones. The first one is called a double die error. This happens when the coin is struck twice by the die, but not exactly in the same spot. It makes the letters and numbers on the coin look like they have a shadow or are slightly doubled. If you look at the words, "In God We Trust," or the date, 1967, and see doubling, you might have a double die coin. Some of these are worth $500 or more, depending on how clear the doubling is. Another valuable error is called an off-center strike. This happens when the coin isn't lined up correctly in the machine. Part of the design ends up missing or off to the side. If it's just a little off, it's not worth much, but if it's way off like 50% or more and you can still see the date, it could be worth hundreds of dollars. People really like off-center coins, especially when the mistake is big and easy to see. There's also something called a clipped planchet error. This happens when a piece of the coin is missing because the blank was cut wrong before it was stamped. It looks like someone took a little bite out of the coin. These are easy to spot, and depending on how big the clip is, they can sell for $100 to $500. One of the rarest and most exciting errors is when a quarter is struck on the wrong kind of blank. For example, if a 1967 quarter was struck on a blank meant for a dime or penny, it would be smaller and weigh less than a normal quarter. These are called wrong planchet errors, and they're extremely rare. One of these sold for over $4,000, just because it was made with the wrong blank. So if you find a quarter that looks small or feels light, it might be worth checking out. Now, if you want to know if your 1967 quarter is valuable, there are a few easy things you can do. First, look at the coin carefully. Use a magnifying glass if you can. Look for any signs of doubling, missing parts, strange shapes, or letters that look off. Then, check the condition. If your coin looks brand new, shiny, and has no scratches, that's a good sign. Weighing the coin is also helpful. A normal 1967 quarter should weigh about 5.67 grams. If it's much lighter or heavier, it might have an error. You can also compare your coin to photos online of known errors. There are websites that show pictures of rare error coins so you can see if yours looks similar. If you really think your coin might be valuable, you can send it to a professional coin grading service. They'll check the coin, give it a grade, and tell you how rare it is. This can help you sell it for the right price, and collectors are more likely to buy coins that are graded by a trusted company. So, to wrap things up, the 1967 Washington quarter may seem like just another coin, but there are some rare ones out there that are worth big money. Most are only worth face value, but if you have one with a special error or in high-grade condition, you could be holding on to a small fortune. Keep an eye out for doubling, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and especially those special mint set coins. Who knows, the next time you check your pocket change, you might find a treasure. Thanks for watching, and if you found this video helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below if you've ever found a rare coin. See you in the next one, and happy coin hunting.